The month of October 2019 began with a raft of tariff increases from utility to phone calls and internet costs. Well, we also had the Public Utilities and Regulatory Commission announcing an almost 6% increment in we have as well as 2% in electricity as well as water, and we also have had an increment in crude prices, among others, which were factors according to the PURC that influenced the automatic adjustment formula informing the increment. And even before consumers could come to terms with the increases, the Ghana Water Company has indicated the 2% increment is woefully inadequate considering the overhead costs. But the PRC insists the price is just right. Ishmael Ejekumhene is a PURC commissioner.
As you speak right now, the exchange rate is close to 5.4, in some cases 5.5. The revenue shortfall that the utilities have experienced over the quarter is close to about 80 million. If we don't do anything about it, this is going to continue to pile up. And then you are not talking about marginal increase, but you'll be looking at major increases even before the end of the major review. So everything that PURC is doing is very transparent, and I am surprised that the Nabo Jinabo is bringing PURC into his politics. How is he saying that tariffs should remain where they are? If you do what he's saying we should be doing, that's how come we were in doomsday for all those years. The energy sector has to recover. Unless somebody is bringing money to recover any shortfall, the sector will have to be able to pay for itself. We are saddled with debts in excess of, nobody even knows the exact amount, close to $3 billion. Do we want to be adding to that? At the end of it all, it's the same Ghanaians, the bonds that they are taking, you and I are going to pay for that. Why can't we delink politics from what is going on and speak the truth so that we don't create confusion for everybody to solve in the future?
And the communication service tax announced by the Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta also took effect on Tuesday. And the Finance Minister explained the objective of the increment is to develop the foundation for the creation of a viable technology ecosystem in Ghana. A statement by the Ghana Chamber of Telecommunications indicated that the 9% tax will be borne fully by us consumers. In a related development, the price for, well, we all do know, we love it, Fan Yogo and Fan Eyes and other products of the Fan Milk family, which was formerly sold at 1 Ghana cedis, currently sells at 1 cedi 20 pesos, while the price for Fan Eyes, for example, the 250 ml goes for 5 cedis. Well, we have also been speaking to some consumers and vendors on these developments.
Today, to start increasing the family price, the market is going low. By the first, we are selling to 1 cedi. By 1 cedi, our profit is too small. We have for 60 pesos for inside. It's inside. So right now, they increase it 1 cedi, 20 pesos. Our own can be 20 pesos. This one is better, but the market is not going on. But we're supposed to sell it to 1 cedi. But if there is 1 cedi, I will not have anything. You will buy rubber. And even Piata, one is 20 pesos. How can you get money to do these all things? That's why. And one thing, tax to the increase it. That's why we are increasing 1 cedi 20 pesos.
I think it came as a surprise to some of us because I quite remember Fine Milk came when it was being sold. It was 80 pesos. Then all of a sudden went to 1 cedi. Now 1 cedi 20 pesos. Well, it's the cost of living. The cost of living in Ghana now is high.
I think it's good because Fan Milk pays tax to the government, and the government in turn pays for our free HHS scheme. So I think it's good.
I was a bit shaky when I heard it. I also read it online. So when I read it, I said, hey, what is happening? If electricity, the utility bills, there has been an increment. And then fun ice for me, I like it a lot. But I don't know whether it's because of the label that now the label, they have changed even the pack. So maybe because there have been increments in the utility tariffs, that's why maybe the fun ice price has also been increased. But what I would plead is that they should work it out, because some of us, it will affect us. I'm going to reduce it because even transportation, there have been some increments. So I'm going to check my intake of fan ice.
Fan milk costs 1 cedi. Since the time I was born, that is how I used to buy it. But having this new price will really affect us. And then we all know the increments in fares and, buying airtime and then slashing some percent off. It is not helping. So I think they should do something about it.
And all the residents and some members of the business community in the Ashanti regional capital, Kumasi, say they are compelled to increase the prices of their goods and services following the recent increment in tariffs. Apart from a 2.22% increment in water tariffs and a 5.94% increment in electricity, an increase in the communication service tax also came into effect on Tuesday. Well, they say those additional costs will be passed on to consumers. Prince Apia has also been sampling views from Kumasi.
When I buy like 100 cedis worth of electricity, I'm going to deduct it, which I will not allow that deduction to go into my account. So I have to add it to my bill has been increased to 5.5%. Definitely, I also increase my goods to 5.5% so that I will also not incur any debt.
We use both water and electricity. We fear patronage of our work will decline, but we have no option than to increase our services. It will be gradual.
Fuel and transport fares have been increased, and now electricity. We charge 8 cedis per cut, though they say it's expensive. Government must reconsider the utility prices.
Already, people are complaining of no money in the system, but we are planning to increase our services, else you will run at a loss.
Moving on, in what appears to be a final attempt to lay issues relating to the comprehensive sexuality education controversy to rest, the Ministry of Education has completely dissociated itself from all publications in circulation on the subject. Officials of the ministry and the Ghana Education Service in the last few days had been making strenuous efforts to quash speculations that the course was part of a grand agenda to expose Ghanaian children to literature on LGBT rights. But the minister at a news conference in Accra said the supposed guidelines in circulation on how the subject ultimately could be taught in schools has so far not been approved for use. Dr. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh maintained the National Council for Curricular Assessment has not submitted to the ministry any document relating to CSE. Komladum was there.
The subject of sexuality education has become a very important matter, particularly for the youth in our societies. Indeed, the changing societal context, characterized by the free flow of information, media pluralism, and the social media, has necessitated the need for education systems to provide accurate information of sexuality education. We in Ghana have a guideline that I've shared with you that we see it as imperative if this nation should develop, that sexuality education should be part of the curricula that we would launch this year in September, all the way from kindergarten to senior high school.
That was Education Minister Dr. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh at an event in February this year. The event, organized by UNESCO, was to empower adolescents and young people to deepen their scope of existing activities to attain a comprehensive sexuality education. At a news conference Tuesday, however, the minister appeared to backtrack on his comments earlier this year.
We were launching a program of UNESCO. That program is not comprehensive sexual education. It's O3, our rights, our values, and the third O, and our world or something. That is it. Our rights, our values, our rights, and our world. That is a program that, if you read what you read carefully, everybody heard sexual and reproductive health. So UNESCO comes to launch a product here. So that adolescent and reproductive health, if you leave here now and you go, you will get a document on adolescent and reproductive health. That includes sex education or sexual education. As somebody said, the name comprehensive is what people are battling with. Sex education has been part of the curriculum in Ghana since the 1940s. The Ministry of Health, or for that, the Ministry of Information, goes around and is educating the public on our civic rights. Does it mean that civic rights is in my curriculum? It may be, but it doesn't mean so. So people should get the distinction, because this distinction has a difference.
In what the ministry says is a clear-the-air address on the controversial subjects, thought to be a subtle way of introducing lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender elements into the curriculum for basic schools, the minister says no such document has been approved for use.
The curriculum that has been developed out of the framework for use by Ghana Education Service in all public schools and approved by Cabinet and as published does not include comprehensive sexuality education.
Asked about a comprehensive sexuality education guideline document making rounds purporting to be from the Ghana Education Service, the minister said as far as he is concerned, there's no document from his ministry and none has been approved for use anywhere.
Show Ghanaians where this is the Ministry of Education's official document.
GES is a branch of Ministry of Education.
This document on comprehensive sexual education is not part of the curriculum. You use the word National Population Council, not Ministry of Education. In fact, adolescent sexual reproductive health, that document that has been done by PPAG, UNFPA, has got nothing to do with the curriculum we are running as Ministry of Education.
Dr. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh also added the training for teachers for the rollout of a new curriculum did not include things relating to comprehensive sexuality education.
So 152,000 teachers have been trained for the new curriculum that started this September. And no teacher was trained on comprehensive sexuality education. Teacher resource packs have been printed and distributed to all teachers trained on how to engage the students or the pupils on the new curricula. And no teacher complained or has raised an issue that comprehensive sexuality education was part of the training.
He has also been urging faith-based groups and civil society organizations to critically study the documents before commenting on the issues publicly.
We appeal to the general public and all faith-based organizations to exercise restraint and verify facts of official government policy before making public pronouncements. The nation should be rest assured that the government and the ministry will not compromise our societal values.
Moving on, the head of Child Protection Advocacy for World Vision Ghana says the Ministry of Education should focus on formulating policies that protect children from abuse and exploitation. And this call comes on the back of the controversy surrounding the introduction of the comprehensive sexual education in public schools, an allegation the ministry, we all do know, has just denied. And in an interaction with JoyNews, Mr. Derry called for proper school structures and the strengthening of relevant institutions to ensure that children are rather protected at all levels.
And that is why we have safeguarding. At the age of 5, at the age of 4, what will sexuality education mean for that child? For us, we think that we need to safeguard the child. The people around the child, how child safe are they? Do they understand what it means to take care of a child? That is where we are putting our focus. So as an organization, you need to come out with a safeguarding policy. If you are a teacher, you are a parent, how do you relate with a child so that you are not sexually abusing these children? For we think that is the core issue. If you are not educating people and letting them understand the rules that guide how we interact with children, and then you move ahead to educate children on the use of condom at an age that is inappropriate, you are rather exposing them to begin to experiment with sightings.
The Wa Polytechnic and the Wa campus of the University of Development Studies have had their electricity supply disconnected for non-payment of bills, according to NEDCO, that is the Northern Electricity Distribution Company. The two institutions owe some 7 million Ghana cedis for power consumed for over a decade. The Wa Polytechnic, for example, is said to have not had any effort made to pay for electricity consumed since it was upgraded to a higher national diploma awarding institution way back in 2007, and so far accumulating a little over 4 million Ghana cedis in unpaid bills, while the Wa campus of the University for Development Studies also owes 3 million Ghana cedis. JoyNews Upper West Regional Correspondent Rafiq Salam brings us more.
The special disconnection exercise embarked on by the Northern Electricity Distribution Company is as a result of huge debt owed to the company by their customers, notable among them government institutions and some private companies. Some of these institutions for over 10 years have failed to settle their indebtedness. Despite the persistent notification, encouragement, and intervention from the Public Utility Regulatory Commission to enable them settle their indebtedness to avoid disconnection, it however proved futile.
The institutions and some of our customers owe us so much, and we are in business. We cannot continue doing business with our customers paying us. We buy the power to distribute to our customers. So if they are not able to redeem their indebtedness, then it will be difficult for us to continue running as a company.
Northern Electricity Distribution Company therefore has no option than to go all out for the special disconnection exercise. The first place visited was the 36 unit block of the Wa campus of the University for Development Studies, UDS, located at Walasombo. The university since 2013 has not honored any bill sent to them by the VRNEDCO. As a result of that, accumulated bills owed the company amounted to 3 million Ghana cedis. Technician engineer Wandelem Komleche first led a team of handful of engineers to disconnect the two-story building that serves as the administration for the School of Business and Law and lecture halls. They disconnected the two-story block from the electricity pole located a few meters away from the road. The team later walked upstairs and to the first floor to pick the reading of the conventional meter before leaving. They also visited the main UDS Wabamahu campus to continue the exercise. They disconnected power of all lecture halls and the administration block of the various facilities. The only facilities that were spared were the hall of residence. The lecturers and the students were not immediately available for comment. The next place that incurred the wrath of VRNEDCO was the Wa Polytechnic. Since its establishment as a higher national diploma awarding institution 12 years ago, they have never paid a penny to the company. The money owed NEDCO is a staggering 4 million Ghana cedis. They disconnected the power of the main administration and the lecture halls from the takeoff of the transformer. Idris Umulumpo Mohammed is the acting rector of the Wa Polytechnic.
To the Minister of Finance and gave us a copy of the transmitter letter and then a copy for the NEDCO, which we submitted to them, expecting that the Minister of Finance would do the needful by paying. Unfortunately, up to this point, I think they have not paid. And so they have given us a fresh demand. And at that time, the time that we sent it, the amount was about 3.9. Now it is 4016,851.38 Ghana cedis, which is the cumulative bill from 2007 to date. The institution, as a small institution, normally we don't have enough IGF to pay, even though we have been told that we have to start looking at how we can pay our own water and electricity bills.
For now, the biggest public institutions in the region are without power, and for it to be restored, VRA NERCO says they should at least settle part of the colossal amount of 7 million Ghana cedis owed them.
I think our management have a dialogue with them on some occasions, so it's about them coming up. They should come up with some payment plan, and I think we are all humans, and they need to do something so that we can restore power to them. It's the money we are looking for. So if they are able to make some commitment, I think power will be restored to them.
Reporting for JoyNews, Rafik Salam. Wow.
Well, we're told that students are now bearing the brunt now. Moving on, that'll be it for the news. We have to bring you more details of news as we review the newspapers. Stay with us.